doing? I'm Jack.
Great, Jack, nice to meet you. Stephanie Elkins from Multiview.
Nice to meet you, Stephanie. Have a seat.
Thank you. Do you mind if I take some notes as well?
No, please do.
Great, thank you. You know, I actually just saw the other day that you guys won the Sustainability Award for the 5th year in a row, and I just wanted to congratulate you on that.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Definitely something to be proud of. So before we get started, I want to go ahead and give you one of my business cards.
Okay.
Customer service is something that we value very highly at Multiview, so I want you to feel free to contact me with any questions you have following our meeting.
Okay. Great.
Perfect. The reason I'm here is I left you a voicemail last week. I appreciate your sense of urgency in getting back to me.
Yeah.
In discussing your goals for the future of marketing and maybe seeing how Multiview can play into that.
Okay.
I just want to go ahead and confirm that we still have 12 minutes to meet today.
Yes, we do.
Great, thank you. So I set aside an agenda for us today in order to stay within that time frame. So I'd like to first ask you some questions to better understand what your needs and goals are as far as Live Roof goes.
Okay.
And then I would like to share with you what Multiview offers and see how we can establish a mutually beneficial relationship.
Okay.
And if it makes good business sense at the end of our time together, I would like to ask to move forward. Does that sound good?
Sounds perfect.
Great. So the first question I would like to ask you is if you could describe to me the decision-making process for marketing.
So as a director of marketing, I pretty much oversee everything as well as our budget. If there's products or services that I want to use, I'll go through that process, and I'm the first layer for the most part. I can be the final decision maker if it works within my budget. If it's something that seems a little sort of above the budget, maybe that we would have in mind for something, then I would get our CFO, Mark West, involved. And then, as long as we can make a good case together with him, then we move forward.
Great, thank you for letting me know.
No problem.
Could you go ahead and tell me a little bit about what your current marketing looks like?
Yeah, so kind of a little bit old school, but always tried and true for us. So we do a lot of ads in trade publications, buying guides. We've done a couple web banners on some of the buying guide websites as well. And then, kind of get new leads and things through trade shows, through that avenue.
Great, and so you had mentioned these banners. What, in the trade shows, what success have you seen from those?
We've seen good success. We're growing year over year, at about a 10% rate. So obviously our business is going well. It's playing well into that the economy's getting better, building's getting better, and we're sort of above the industry average because people want to go green, and that's what we specialize in.
Great, thank you. And you had mentioned that you're growing, so can you explain to me a little bit about what your goals for the future of Live Roof and in terms of digital marketing look like?
Yeah, so as far as our goals for Live Roof, I've been tasked with trying to take that 10% growth and turn it into a 30% growth. So quite a step up by tripling our growth rate. And when it comes to digital, it's one of those things that we haven't really dived into too much, but if we're going to get there, we're going to have to find a way to get some new customers in here. So we give it a stab.
Great, thank you. So from what I'm hearing, you've currently been utilizing these trade magazines and different print publications,
Right.
and you're currently at the 10% growth rate, but what you're looking to do in the future is move from that 10 to 30%. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Another question I'd like to ask is what are maybe 2 or 3 criteria that you're looking for to have a positive marketing experience?
Well, I think a positive marketing experience would be, being able to track and measure, kind of that the money we're spending is going towards basically our ROI. We're getting back on it. And I think the other would just be, that there's a lot of value in what we're doing as well.
Great. Now you mentioned being able to track and measure what we're using as far as digital marketing goes. What would that look like for you?
I don't know. In the digital world, I think there's some more trackability with things. It's hard to tell on a print thing sometimes. You may ask, how'd you hear about us or something like that, but it's just really tough to track print, know how many eyes are getting on it, like in real, reality, how many people are actually really seeing that. I just think to that level, knowing, who we're reaching, what type of person is it, what type of customer are they customers.
Great, thank you. So from what I'm hearing about the criteria, you said what you value is you want to be able to track and measure it. So you want to be able to specifically see who's viewing what, and that's something that you maybe haven't been able to do as well as far as the print publications have been going.
Correct. And
in addition to that, you would also like to be able to measure the value. So can you explain to me a little bit about what value means to you?
I think just, whatever, in a sense of money, kind of in a sense, what, are we getting enough out of it and what our spend was? If I'm going to be trying to task with growing here and I'm spending more dollars than I normally would, is it reaching the people, or is there am I getting a good amount for what I paid for it? Let's just say like dollar, impressions per dollar, et cetera, something like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. So overall, I just want to make sure that I can summarize what you're saying so I understand. You said currently you've been utilizing those print publications, going to trade shows, different things like that has you at the 10%.
Right.
What you're looking to do in the future is move from that 10 to 30%. And in ways that you would kind of like to do that, you'd like to be able to track and measure what you're doing in terms of this digital marketing to make sure that what you're doing is effective. And you also want to make sure that we're adding value to you as a company and adding value to the marketing segment because you want to make sure that you are getting the best bang for your buck. Is that correct?
Correct.
Great. So what I would like to do now that I feel I have a better understanding of what your needs are, is there anything else that you would like to discuss before we move forward with this process?
No, I think it's good.
Great. So at this point, I'd like to go ahead and share with you different things that Multiview offers to maybe try to fill these needs of yours.
Okay.
So what I feel would fit you best is something that we offer called a targeted campaign.
Okay.
And this is a marketing campaign where we can go in and track prospective customers who are exhibiting this buying behavior. Buying behavior being something where maybe they're searching keywords that is something that you or your competitors offer. Maybe they visited your website or one of your competitors' websites multiple times. What this will do is flag our system, and we'll be able to put a pixel on their digital ID, track different websites that they visit, and we can place banner advertisements on those websites.
Okay.
So for you, you had mentioned that you want to be able to track and measure what you're doing in terms of this digital marketing.
Right.
So one service that we do offer are monthly service meetings, where we're able to sit down with you or a marketing rep of your choice, because we do understand that your time as overall director is very valuable, and we want to be respectful to that. And so each month we'll sit down and kind of go through an overview, like a helicopter view of what these analytics were. And then we'll go through and see who you're targeting, who your prospective customers may be, if it's effective, and also make sure that you're still happy. Because our goal is not just to make you happy today. Our goal at Multiview is to make you happy every day moving forward, as long as we are your business partner.
Okay.
Which means this would be more effective for you. It would save you the time of maybe trying to analyze these results on your own, and really just establish a strong relationship between the both of us.
Okay.
So do you see how this could benefit you?
I do, yeah, that should be pretty interesting.
Great. Another thing you mentioned is that you want to make sure that we're adding value to your company, and so that you're getting the best bang for your buck. I can say that we as Multiview are the market leaders in the B2B advertising industry, and we fully 100% stand behind our products. And as I mentioned earlier, our targeted campaigns allow us to make sure that we're putting you as live roof in front of the customers who are interested in your product. So we're not just going out there, picking and choosing different IP addresses, throwing banner ads and saying, oh, I hope someone looks at this, which is kind of similar to how print ad works. You can distribute it, but how do you really track who's looking at that?
Sure.
So what we're able to do is make sure that we're getting in front of customers who are already searching for these terms, who are already interested in this product, and it gives you a better chance of targeting them and converting them into your client. So do you see how that could be beneficial to you as well?
Yeah, that'd be great, yeah.
Great. So just to kind of summarize, we went through, if you chose to go with our targeted campaign, for you to be able to track and measure the growth as far as digital media goes, we would sit down with you each month, go over what the results are, go over how we can improve, and make sure that you're constantly satisfied with our product. In addition, to be sure that we're adding value to your company and being efficient, we make sure that we're targeting specific prospective clients and making sure that we're getting in front of the right people. And this way it would add value and make sure that we're not wasting any time or advertising space. Does that sound correct?
Sure.
All right, and after spending a little bit of time going through what your needs are and talking through our targeted marketing campaign, do you see how this could potentially satisfy some of your needs in terms of growth?
I do.
Great. So in the beginning of our meeting, you had mentioned that if it makes good business sense at the end, that we could move forward with this sales process, and that's what I'd like to do at this time. Does that still sound good?
Yep.
Great. So after going through the different products with you, I have a list. What I feel the best fit for your company would be in terms of taking you from that 10% to that 30% growth in the most efficient amount of time would be a package that we offer where we can guarantee you 3 million impressions.
Okay.
This means we can get your ad in front of 3 million people who are already interested in it for $3,500 a month.
Okay.
So this way we're making sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck, but also getting in front of the most prospective customers that we can.
Okay.
So does this sound like something that you would be interested in?
So $3,500 a month, and that's 3 million impressions a month, or what's the time frame for the impressions?
3 million impressions annually, because this would be the $3,500 a month is an annual contract that you would sign with us, but that's what it breaks down to monthly, and we would guarantee you 3 million impressions per year.
Okay. $3,500 a month. So I've actually been talking with one of your competitors, ad roll, and they're actually substantially less than you are for the same amount of impressions.
Yeah, absolutely. Competitive pricing is very important, but I also would like to ask what else is important to you in terms of this digital marketing and your growth.
Well, I mean, like we talked about earlier, the tracking of everything is measuring the ROI is very important as well, and just making sure you get a lot of value.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is something I would like to hit on, is you said that you value adding value to your company and adding value here. And that is something that we offer. While we are competitively priced, our focus is on you. And our focus is on making sure that we maintain a strong relationship with you, making sure that we're satisfying your needs every day from here on out throughout our partnership together. And this allows us to be effective, to work with you one-on-one, sit down with you monthly, make sure that we are constantly targeting the right people, updating your ads at no charge if need be, making sure that you're constantly up to date and satisfied with our product. And what it breaks down to is adding a greater value to your company than maybe the couple thousand that you would be saving by going with a different company. So do you see how that could satisfy that need?
I do, yeah, that makes some sense.
Okay, great. And then going back, so that 3 million guaranteed impressions per year for the $3,500 a month breakdown, does that sound like something that you'd be interested in today?
I'm interested, but I can't sign off on over $1,000 a month, so that's nothing I can sign off on today.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. I would like to talk about that a little bit more.
Sure.
So you had mentioned in the beginning that your CFO, Mark West, is someone who would also be involved in decisions like this.
Right.
So what I would like to do at this time is see if we can establish a meeting where you, myself, and Mark could sit down, go over these options again, and really make sure that we're choosing the best option to add value and ensure that we're going to take you from that 10 to 30%. So would you, Mark, and myself be able to meet on Monday at either 2 o'clock or maybe 5 o'clock?
We could do Monday, yeah, let's do Monday at 5. What I would like for you to bring though is some examples of, what those meetings were like when you guys sit down and do reporting and everything like that, so that would be great.
All right,
Monday
well,
at 5, okay.
I will see you Monday at 5, and I will leave this with you, just our pricing sheet and different things that we offer so that you can have that. And I will see you Monday at 5.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you so much for your time, Jack.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too.
Okay, you can sit down. Yeah. Great job.
Thank you.
So before our panel give you a little bit of feedback here, just maybe tell us how you thought you did. Was it what you expected?
Kind of. I was very nervous, so I apologize. Definitely, it was what I expected. It was actually, you weren't as harsh as I was expecting.
Okay.
So thank you.
Why were you expecting that?
Because I've been through different role play scenarios where, they're told to give you a hard time.
It's the word on the street that I'm wearing.
I came in with the mindset that they're probably going to give me a hard time. No, but it was very effective.
I mean, you did well, so.
It's just that 12 minutes is what gets me. I think in the back of my mind the whole time, I knew I only had 12 minutes, and I knew I was getting there, and I was like, oh, this, But I think that's definitely what hinders me when it comes to this, but overall I think I did pretty well following the process.
Our panel gives some feedback, but I'll say at the time is you probably could have eliminated some of it. You were moving through it pretty well. I think you just used a lot of fluff talk, so that would cut some of your time down. But we'll go to Jessica and Brooke this time. If you want to start, Jessica.
Hi, Stephanie. You did fantastic. That was probably one of the best sales presentations I've seen before. You talk so fast.
I'm so sorry.
I'm envious. I'm from the South, and no matter how much I try to do that up here, I just can't. So great job, because you had 12 minutes, so you needed to. But just like Joe said, you could probably utilize the 12 minutes better by just focusing on some of the things, because you covered some things a couple of times. Even with your confirming questions, it started to feel kind of salesy at the end, because you were like, how does that sound? Does that make sense to you? Where he'd already said, that's valuable. Yeah, so you can just move on and go. But you did, perfect on certain things in here. I was like, get out of my head, because I was thinking questions like response questions, and you had them, and you said the exact same thing that I was like, that would be a really good question right there. So excellent job uncovering needs, confirming, summarizing. Even with the layer model, I thought you did a great job with that. There was an opportunity, I think, where you could have asked a little bit more at one point, but overall, fantastic job. I would buy from you.
Thank you.
Are you a senior?
I'm a sophomore currently.
do you have an internship already?
Yes, I have one lined up for the summer and this fall.
Okay, we should talk too.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Card on the
Always,
way out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
always be recruiting, right?
Absolutely.
Good job, Stephanie.
Thanks.
Especially for your
This
first.
maybe
We're going
10
crisscross now
times
with our
more
joke?
nervous.
I'm sorry, I'm confused now.
Okay.
I thought we were going same
Sorry.
side of the table. So, Tim, are you going now?
Yeah,
Okay.
we've been switching some.
Okay.
To get specific with you on, and I'm gonna be picky because you
I
do
know.
such a good job. I'm gonna try to be picky. You're great job, right? To get specific on you, you were talking about banners,
Right.
growth, track and measure.
Right.
In a real sales call, that's awesome because you're figuring out all the stuff that's currently wrong with this program.
Uh-huh.
In a 12-minute format, take one of them and hammer it. All right, whether it's the tracking growth, whether it's just 10 to 30%, find that out, and then I would do your big summary statement, your Lear method, and everything, kind of just on one of those, and then tailor your presentation to that. Again, real world, this was great because you found 3 or 4 different things that were short in his marketing campaign, but 12 minutes you just don't have time to address them all, right? When you find those, make them feel the pain. So maybe doing that one, you said, okay, 10 to 30%, and then but maybe ask a follow-up question. What does that mean? Why is it only 10%? And almost, you want your buyer to be a little bit uncomfortable in that, wow, it is only 10%. So, give him a little pain there. You said multiple times, which was great, you kept going 10% to 30%, 10%. That was great. You kept reiterating that to your buyer and letting them know that was awesome. He gave you prices and objection. You handled it with a question. Great. You didn't just go.
I've never done the layer before today, so that was something that I was trying to
Right.
get down.
And a lot of times when the buyer will give prices and objection, the seller will just vomit back on them. And you handled it with a question very calmly. Good job there. When you ask for that next meeting, I would ask, you did such a good job with him, maybe ask if you have his recommendation.
Oh, okay.
Say, okay, fine, we'll sit down with whoever the CFO was. Let me ask you, if you could make the decision today, is this something you would purchase?
Okay.
Or hey, when we go to that meeting, will I have your recommendation that this program's going to be a good fit? And if you chop out a couple of those things at the beginning, you'll have time to close a little harder at the end of that for this type of format. But yeah, very very good job, Stephanie.
You did great.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
No problem.
It's nice meeting
You as well.